Hey fam, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The Crimson Tide have moved to 2-0. We're going to take your calls tonight immediately. So you guys can call in right now. Call-in line is at the bottom of the screen, 205-850-0883. I'm going to bring in my good friend, Mick Gillespie, and we should have him on in just a second. Mick, can you hear me, buddy? Mick, are you there?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, coming in a little soft for me.
Get this turned out.
Adjust the levels, if you will, and we'll take some calls as they come in. And we got a couple calls already in kind of the queue, so we'll take those calls. Mick, kind of some early takeaways from this game, and we can reverse hats. Obviously, I'll be the analyst, but I mean, it was what we expected from Alabama. I mean, they sure covered that spread.
Yeah, I was really surprised. Hold on one second.
Okay, we got Mick on a technical error, so we'll come back. But I thought that Alabama did a fantastic job for the most part. I mean, this was coming into a game where you had a lot we really wanted to figure out how good this team was. And I think coming into this game, going against Texas A&M, was that really going to showcase how good this team was? I'm not sure, but they looked great. Mick, you're back. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, man, sorry. I'm trying to get all this stuff technically going, but I'm surprised at really how Alabama was able to respond with
Sure.
with Mac. I mean, like, this was a game where Alabama was pushed a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like, they just – when they needed to make a big play, they made a big play. I mean, it was amazing to see his accuracy downfield, his ability to hit the receivers in stride. Like, I was absolutely impressed with his ability to throw the deep ball. I mean, like, every time it felt like Texas A&M was trying to kind of make a move on Alabama, Mac Jones just had an answer for him. And, I mean, honestly, like, I wasn't expecting that coming into the season, but I'm a believer right now. The deep balls to Minchie were on the money. Minchie's also telling us right now that he's legitimate. Like, he's a real deal guy. He's next level. And if you got Smitty covered, if you got Waddle covered, like, Minchie's a guy that's going to be able to do some serious damage. I mean, this is a good team in Texas A&M, and I know you look at the score and you go, well, it looks like an Alabama blowout, but these guys were really able to push Alabama at times when the Crimson Tide needed a big play. Mac-10 was there to make it, and I mean, like, I'm absolutely floored with his ability to throw the ball downfield and find the open receivers. And, I mean, these passes were as good as anything that Tua was able to do, McCarron was able to do, any of these Alabama quarterbacks that Alabama's had since Nick Saban's been here. Mac's grown into this job. This was a tough game today. I mean, you look at the final 52-24. I mean, it was 14-14, and Alabama was kind of up against the ropes for a second. But I'm so impressed with his ability to make those deep passes, man.
All right. We sorry to cut you off, Mick. We got our first caller, but you're making some great points. We're going to bring in DeMarco from Georgia. DeMarco, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? Thanks for having me on. Shout out to Tyler doing that work behind the scenes.
Definitely.
Family, make sure we share this link and get these views up. So today, I'm gonna bring out three really important topics here. First off, shouts out to Mac 10. I said this the other day, is that he has got nothing but time to watch film. He's not bogged down by school, so he was able to do a lot of good things. The first thing I want to point out about Mac, when we talk about the safety reads, you look at the throw he made to I think that might have been Mechie or Waddle on the right side in the first half. He read the safety drop down, he threw it right over the top, really good read. But then you saw in the second half, he missed a read where he had one-on-one with Waddle and the deep cut to the left. He didn't read the safety that well that time. So I think he's still getting a lot of work in that regard, reading those safeties and just getting comfortable. But he was efficient. And then we talk about Pete Golding. And I keep hearing all this trash about Pete's not it. Stop it. Let's be realistic. We've got young guys on the field that are still making the mental errors. We've got Dylan Moses out there, but he himself missed the read when that tight end slipped by. It's because the defensive lineman jammed him up so good that they thought he wasn't releasing. He released right in front of Dylan Moses, and Dylan didn't make the play. So that's something that people need to pay attention to when they're looking at the game. Make sure you're watching and not just looking. And then the last thing, the running game. we got a lot of work to do. It's just that simple. We don't have the championship formula of balance that we've had in years past, and it's just got to get better. And it's just that simple. So those are the top three things that I take away from this game. Really good game overall. Really impressed, but we got a long way to go to get where we need to go, and we got to make some improvements.
Hey, DeMarco, we're going to run to our next caller, but thank you very much for calling in. We appreciate the points. Definitely hit me up about, kind of the college, atmosphere, because I know you're kind of looking for, direction, and I'd like to hook up with you in the future, but you bring up some great points. I think this defense certainly has a lot of room to grow, but as you know, Mac Jones is certainly on the money, but we're going to move to our next caller, but we appreciate you calling in, okay?
Yep. All right, now.
All right. Thanks, DeMarco. All right, DeMarco calling in. All right, next up, we got Jarek calling in from New York, and we want to talk about Mac Jones. Jarek, what's up, buddy? You're on the line, man.
All right, what's up, Kyle? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Jarek, introduce yourself to Mick, man. He's new on our show, and you guys gotta get to know each other.
Yeah, man. I'm a regular caller, man. I like to call in, talk about some Alabama football. There will be some occasions. I'm gonna go a little rant today. A little rant, not too majorly, but you're gonna hear the real from me, man. So, but I want to talk about Mac Jones' performance, man. I'm not shocked at all what I saw it off from Mac Jones tonight, man. That Auburn game that he did last year, he sold me. Mac Jones sold me, because if you look at the Auburn game. Yes, he made some mistakes in that game, and we had a lot of talent. But what surprised me was his poise, right? We never seen that poise from Mac Jones before last year, and he came back stronger, was accurate in that football game, read his reads. Just the poise of Mac Jones in that particular game, it sold me. And I knew that Mac Jones was going to be the future of the team, and I'm happy that he's performing on that level. But just talking about the defense real quick, Kyle, I'm just going to say this, because I said this about on your show last year. I said LSU was going to throw for 400 yards against Alabama last year because we don't have an effective pass rush, especially with the man-to-man coverage concepts that we play with cover 0, cover 1, and cover 2 with man-to-man coverage. We got to clean that up. It is possible that we can clean that up. We are missing Christian Barmore, who's our best interior pass rush, I got to give a lot of credit to Texas A&M, because the plays that Jimbo Fisher drew up was good matchups. It was great matchups for them and bad matchups for us. Like Dylan Moses on Whittemire, he's going to lose every time. Christian Harris on Whittemire for the majority of the time, he's going to lose most of the time. Our slot receivers on our safeties, their tight ends, their best route running tight end, our safeties, especially when we're playing cover 0 and cover 1 with man-to-man coverage, they're going to win a lot of those times. But against the elite passing teams, especially when you don't have an effective pass rush, when you're rushing 4 or trying to blitz 1 or trying to blitz an extra guy coming off the edge, it's not going to work out that way. And teams will pick apart that defense if we don't clean that up. So we are young, we are progressing, but that is something that worries me a little bit. That's it's a little bit of a red sign to me, how we can't really get an effective pass rush on Kellen Mond with the front 4 when we're running man-to-man coverage concepts.
Mick, when we look at kind of the pass rush tonight, and we kind of look at, I'll put some defensive stats up there. I mean, what was your quick observations about kind of the pass rush? And Christian Barmore did get into this game, by the way. I know he did a lot in the second half. Kind of some early observations, kind of just the overall pass rush.
Look, I thought Texas A&M is a good team, and I thought that they did a lot of things well. I mean, like their offense is going to be one of the best when it's all said and done in the SEC. And I mean, I thought Alabama got pressure on them. I just thought Mond made some plays. Like he's a good quarterback, and he found some open guys. But Alabama was able to make the adjustments on defense, and they caught a break on the interception. And they had the big play in the first half. But, I mean, when it was a tight game, when it was 14-14, and then Alabama came down and they got the interception, like it was kind of like they were able to turn up the heat. And all of a sudden, like Alabama scored 3 quick touchdowns, and it was over at that point. I mean, even though we were going into the second half, like I was impressed by Alabama's ability to make those adjustments. And I thought that the pass rush was really good. I mean, like they were in the backfield. Kellen Mond is a guy who has been around, and he's been in these battles before. I wasn't really disappointed in the defense. I mean, I just thought, like, the way that college football is now, I mean, and you know this, Kevin, these guys are going to score a lot of points. That's just the way that it's set up right now. But you got to get enough stops to give your offense the ball back. And, I mean, I felt like that's where Alabama was really kind of superior today. They gave the ball back to the offense, and then the offense was able to take advantage of that. This is a good Texas A&M team, and I think that they could win, 7 or 8 games in this schedule. I just thought Alabama was just that much better. They did enough on defense, and the offense was just excellent.
Hey, Jarek, I kind of want to, before I run to our next caller, and I'll get to our next caller here in just a minute, I just want to say, as we look at kind of the defensive stats, and we'll kind of, dive into this a little bit more on the show. But as you see, I mean, Christian Harris, again, had a very strong game, and he's playing at the top of his level.
Oh, yeah.
As a sophomore. I mean, it's really unbelievable to see what he provides weekly. I mean, it's unbelievable. I thought Jordan Battle, another sophomore. You look at Malachi Moore, he's a freshman. All these guys did such a great job. And I think it was really amazing to see these guys rise up. And another, again, against a quality team. I mean, Kellen Mond is the first guy to put over 1,000 yards career-wise of offense against Alabama. So coming into this game, we knew that Kellen Mond was going to be effective. We knew he was going to get yards, but I think Alabama, for the most part, did a good job stopping him. He, as you can see on the screen, was 25 of 24. He did have 318 yards, but Alabama slowed him down running-wise this time around. And, 52 to 24 is kind of a similar score. But I got to run to the next caller. But thank you very much, Jarek, for always calling, for always the support. And we'll catch up with you next time, buddy, okay?
Yep, for sure.
All right, take it easy, buddy. Jarek from New York. All right, next up, we're going to bring on Sam from Alabama. He's got 3 phases. Sam, what's up, buddy? You're on. Go ahead. It's your show.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Thank you
What's
for
up?
calling in. Go ahead.
Good. I just just talk about offense, defense. I'm kind of like with the other call. I mean, the defensive line, it's still the same defensive line from last year. We're just not getting much penetration. But Kellen Mond, like Mick said, he does frustrate defenses, because he's very elusive, and plus he's an experienced quarterback. But I mean, he's not one defensive lineman that really stood out, this week or last week to me. I really can't recall somebody that really made plays in the game. And like Mick also indicated, offenses are different these days, and they're gonna score points, they're gonna move the football. I mean, every offense is gonna do that because that's the way of the game right now. But just a lot of things they got to clean up on defense. The linebackers. The first caller said it was Dylan Moses that gave it that let the tight end go. It wasn't him. It was Christian Harris. It was Christian Harris. That's his guy. But I mean, for sometimes they forget that the running backs are in the game. The running backs are killing us all day. And in halftime, I thought they had. I was just playing with one of my cousins that I thought he was gonna make a change for Charlie Strong at halftime, like he did in the national championship game with Tua.
Cold.
But
cold. Hey, Sam, let me ask you this. What was your take on Daniel Wright? Because I know a lot of people were kind of questioning his ability after that week 1 game against Missouri. Tonight he has a pick 6. What was kind of your take about him and kind of talk about the secondary play?
Yeah, I was gonna mention him too. Daniel Wright, for a guy that's been there, I think he's a redshirt junior. He's been there 4 years. You would think that he would be more experienced as far as like where to line up and what to do. Having that experienced guy out there. Knowing, playing the game of football is not just physical; it's also mental. And if you know what to do, where to be. You can make plays. You'll be able to make plays, even though you don't have the greatest ability out there on the field. But yeah, I mean, he did, made a few mistakes. The pass interference really probably wasn't a pass interference. The first one probably should have been a pass interference, but the second one maybe not. But he did kind of redeem himself by getting an interception for a touchdown. But at the end of the game, I didn't see him out there. I saw DeMarco Hellams out there.
Yeah.
In his place. And I think that's because, I mean, come on, man. I mean, you can't guard or play one-on-one with a tight end. Come on, they're not that elusive. sometimes you got to be a little bit physical with those guys, especially tight end.
Well, and I think you bring up a great point. I mean, being physical. I mean, if Daniel Wright would have hit that guy like Alabama safeties are accustomed to doing, then that guy doesn't score a touchdown in the first half, right?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
I think that was a big thing. People want to see a safety coming down and hitting hard. That's what DeMarco Hellams is going to bring. And on the flip side, Daniel Wright, what we've heard, he's been a ball hawk during, fall training camp. So we saw a little bit of that with his pick six and some of the defensive plays.
Right. Yeah, and also they're young back there, man. Our defensive line, they're slightly young too. They're not very experienced. Yeah, we'll have more depth on the defensive line, and we're not getting the pressure like we used to in the past. You combine that with a young secondary, we're not going to be making too many plays out there. You have to use the linebackers to get pressure on the quarterback. All right. But on offensively was fine. It's just the only issue I had on the offense was in the first half, we just didn't get as much push with the offensive line as far as like opening up holes. But that may also be due to Kyle and Mick. It may be due to the fact that Jimbo Fisher probably set out to stop the run. And and like Mick said, they do have some pretty good defensive guys on their football team. They got a lot of talent on their football team. Sure. But overall, offense, the pass blocking was great. They kept Matt Jones upright. He didn't get sacked. Maybe late in the game when he gave himself up, but for the most part, he didn't get sacked. Nobody really hit him. But Steve Sarkisian called a pretty good game. Mac Jones had a great game. Great game. You can't ask for anything more. The pass blocking, like I said, was great. Jalen Waddle, Smitty, and Messi, man, they were awesome. Yeah. They were awesome. And how about that catch with Smitty in the back of the end zone?
Mm. These guys did. Everything that we saw, from the wide receivers tonight, I thought was exceptional. Mick, what do you think? It's kind of like one of our users said it best during our watch party. He's like, there's nothing like a long pass to a receiver. It's like kind of poetry in motion.
Hey, look, I was just like watching Menchie, and I'm going, he's probably sitting on the sideline last year going, why can't I get into the game? This guy's a number one receiver at a lot of places. And you saw it today. When they threw him the ball, he made some amazing plays. But what I was most impressed with, and going back to last week, is just Mac. His composure in the pocket, even the interception, even the pick six. I just was like watching him, and I'm like, I know that the minute he gets the football back, Alabama's going straight down the field with it. Like, this guy has matured so much from last year when Tua got hurt in the Tennessee game, and you're watching him, and he looks scared, and he doesn't know where to put the football, and he doesn't know how to lead the team. I'm one of the people. I'm looking at him at the beginning of the season, and I'm going, okay, is Bryce Young ready? Because I don't know if this guy is going to be the answer. I'm watching him now, and I'm like, okay, he spent the offseason preparing, watching film. He knows the defense. He knows the offense. He knows how to lead these guys. He's got the team to buy in. I'm as confident in him as I've been in any of these other Alabama quarterbacks that Nick Saban has had. And I just felt like even when it was 14-14, I'm thinking, they've had a couple of bounces their way, but this guy is the perfect person to lead this offense. Like the way that he steps up in the pocket, and you talk about the offensive line, like maybe they had some struggles with the run blocking at times, but they gave him enough time in the pocket to find the open guy, and he was finding the open guy. And what separates him from other quarterbacks is the precision on the downfield passes. And that's the type of game that we play in right now. You've got to be able to hit those downfield guys, and the precision, if you're double covered and the ball's, right there in front of you, like the way that he was throwing the ball today, there's nothing else you can ask for. So you're going to call the offense, if you're Sarkisian, you're calling the offense based on the defense, right? But I'm sure what they're thinking is we're going to take the run away, and we're going to try to, make him throw downfield. But the downfield passing to me was an A+.
It was on point. It was on point.
Well,
and a couple more things, guys, and I'll let you. Then I'll get off.
go ahead, Sam.
Brian Robinson, he performed a little bit better today, in the later in the game. And if he's gonna get more opportunities, he's gonna have to prove to them that he deserves those opportunities, right? He dropped the touchdown pass last week, but of course he's gonna get another chance, but he has to prove to them that that he's deserving of those carries and opportunities to get on the field. And last but not least, how about the kicking game, man? We didn't miss not one extra point or field goal. How about that, man?
Hey, look, Kyle, not to take your thunder, but that's the other area where coming into the season, I'm going, okay, I'm scared. Okay, like I'm like this right here, like kicking coming. Maybe this is the year where Alabama kicks. Maybe we got the next Michael Proctor. Maybe this is the guy that's going to kick that game-winning field goal, like Jamie Christensen, back in 2005. Like, this dude is ready to go. I've heard all about him. I remember seeing him in Hoover, when he was a prep player. And I'm really impressed by that. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get into that game where the kicking part of the contest is going to come into play, and you're going to need that field goal. You're going to need that extra point. You just want to have someone that's going to come in there and just make the kicks, right? I mean, it's not like you have to do a whole lot. Just make the ones when they need you to make it. We don't have a Scott back there kicking the punts, but I thought the kicking game today was excellent, and that's a big relief because for whatever reason, it seems like we get into that Auburn game, we get into that Iron Bowl, and the kicking game is really important. So, I honestly, look, I know that Texas A&M scored some points in this game, and there was a point where you're going, okay, maybe we were in a little bit of trouble, but I never felt that way. I always thought like this, they had all the breaks going their way, and it was tied at 14. And then Alabama just jumped on them like a great team does. And I think that, and I know this is only 2 games in, but I think this is a really special team this year. I love the motivation. I like the way that it's composed. I like the fact that you got some of the seniors and you got some of these freshmen that are coming in and contributing. It's a good mix. And today, against a really, really good team, when push came to shove, Alabama was just clearly better.
Right.
All right.
And let me say one more final thing, and then I get off. Jimbo Fisher is not going to win many games at Texas A&M, man. Running that type of offense. He rarely went to his receivers. Yeah, he occasionally went to his receivers, right? But mostly who was catching the football? The running backs and the tight ends. You're not going to win too many games, and they didn't go downfield that much. So how much did Texas A&M pay him? Was it $75 million?
75 million.
He got a big contract.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Come on, man. But all right, guys, I appreciate it, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of the day. I'm happy and ecstatic with the win. It's just like we just got a lot of things to clean up because on down the line we got some tough games. Tennessee looks pretty good right now. Jeremy Pruitt is getting those guys together. You got Georgia down, in a couple of weeks, and Lane Kiffin is not going to make things any easier for us. He's going to try to frustrate our defense. He's going to call all different types of quirky things next week, and trick plays and whatnot to confuse the defense. Because what's the saying? Is it imitation is the best form of flattery, right? Mm-hmm. Last week, what was Missouri doing? They was running a lot of misdirection plays and getting us confused. I mean, they did that today. They're going to do it next week. They're going to continue to do it until we stop it, right? Mm-hmm. So they just got to tighten up, man, on defense.
All right.
Maybe
Thank you very much for calling in, Sam. We appreciate it, buddy. All right.
Take a great call, Sam.
Right.
Thank you very much, Sam. We appreciate it. All right. Got a
yes, sir.
Good call from Sam. All right, we're moving on. We're going to take on Jalen from Alabama. Jalen from Alabama. Holy cow, man. Thank you for waiting on the line, man. Welcome to the show. Give us your observations from this game, buddy.
Hey, what's up, Kyle and Mick? How y'all doing today, man?
Thank you so much for calling in, man. Sure show. Take it.
Man, so I want to start with the offensive line, man. The run block, obviously. We have one of the best offensive lines in the country. The pass protection looks amazing. My dad, he brought up a good fact, and I mean, I was kind of really shocked he even said this, but the offensive line, they look kind of lazy and slow when they're run block. The run block looks lazy and slow, and I'm just really concerned about that, man. I don't know what you guys think about it, but they just kind of look. I don't know. They just look out of maybe not conditioned enough, or I don't know what to say about it, man. But it's disappointing.
What do you think, Nick?
Look, I thought that Texas A&M was just selling out to try to stop the run. I think they were going to challenge Mac to throw the football, and I thought that's what he did. You know, I was impressed with the offensive line. You know, I thought that they gave him a lot of time to throw the football, and if they're selling out to stop the run, then you got to throw it, right? And I thought that's what he did really well in this football game. When Alabama gets into those games where they try to stop the pass and they run, that's kind of Nick Saban football. But Mac Jones is at the line of scrimmage. You know, he's doing a lot of the read pass stuff. You know, he's looking at what the defense is giving him. And I mean, like, you know, Kyle, you can jump in on this, but I just felt like Mac was totally in control of what Alabama's offense was doing, good and bad. I mean, like, I just thought, like, this entire game that whatever Texas A&M was trying to counter with, he was just a step ahead.
Yeah, I think when you look at Mac Jones and kind of the play, I want to bring up the stats just to kind of outline what we need to talk about, and that's just kind of the efficiency, right? I mean, 20 of 27, 435 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, you're talking about, is this guy one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC? Now you're talking about, is this one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country? I think with his ball placement, I think with his overall kind of feel for this game. I mean, and being able to distribute the football the last 2 games to Devontae Smith, John Mechie tonight, and of course Jalen Waddle, he's clearly exuded the ability that this guy is the real deal, that he can take it Alabama as far as he need to go. Now, a lot of people might point to that interception, not a big deal. It was a tipped ball. I think we all saw that.
Yeah.
Good play by Texas A&M. Very opportunistic play on the defensive side of the ball. That's going to happen. But when we look to Mac Jones and what he did and what he's done through 2 games, I mean, he's absolutely soaring. Alabama had that video of him coming into the tunnel. They're flexing on him. They know that this guy is capable. And when you lose a quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa, everybody's going to be like, who's the next guy? Who's the next guy? He is the next guy. So appreciate Mac Jones and what he's doing for Alabama right now. He has toughness, he has poise, and most importantly, he has the ability to win a lot of football games, maybe even the championship for Alabama.
Dude, I mean, I agree, man. If Mac, he keeps playing like this, man, I mean, I won't miss 2 at all, man. I think we're doing really well. Better than I expected, honestly, man. But yeah, that's my point off the line. I also want to talk about the the run game and the defense, or the run stop. The defense, man, I honestly think, I mean, they look better than last year's defense. I will say that. They have improved. But I will say also is that if we don't get a hand on stopping the run, we're going to be in big trouble, man. Big trouble. And it's kind of just getting scary. I saw Texas A&M just run the ball on us, and I was not happy about that. It's just, I mean, we've seen this last year, and I was hoping, maybe, the big guys, some of the big guys are healthy. They returned from last year to stop the running game. Got Dylan Moses back. But this weekend, the run stop did not look the best. What do you guys take on that?
Look, I thought the most important drive of the game for Texas A&M was the first drive, and they took the ball down the field, and then when Alabama had to make the stop, they did, and then they missed the field goal. If they score a touchdown at that point, like all of a sudden now you're kind of forced, you got to go down and do your thing, and even if they would have kicked the field goal, it's only 3 points. Like it's a bend don't break type of defense, not just for Alabama, but really the entire country. Like the days of like winning, like 6-3, like Alabama beat Tennessee in 2005. Like that's just not the way that it's set up right now. They call a lot more penalties. You're not allowed to tie guys up at the line of scrimmage. It's an offensive driven football game now, so they're going to get their points. You just got to make the stops. And when that particular drive was a great example of how good this defense was, because they needed to stop. They got it. They missed a field goal. And all of a sudden that was, to me, the biggest momentum change in the entire game. And I know, look, it was tied 14 and Alabama comes back and score. But I just felt like that particular point in the game, Texas A&M's trying to make a statement, and Alabama's defense just rises up and makes the big stop. You're going to give up points. That's just the way that it is. But if you don't give up, touchdowns in those spots, it's going to come back and benefit you because Alabama's going to score touchdowns. Whether it's Waddle or Smitty or now Menchie, I mean, like, they're going to get in. Najee Harris is going to get his touchdowns, And the way that Mac Jones is leading this offense, like, I'm really comfortable with what Alabama's doing on offense. So you have a lot of pressure if you're playing Alabama to score points. You're not beating them with 24. You got to score in the 30s to beat this team. That's been the way it's kind of set up for the last couple of years. And today was a great example. I mean, 24 points now is like maybe like 10 was like 5 years ago.
That's a good point. I mean, because you look at how many yards and how many points these opposing teams are putting up weekly. Anything else, Jalen? While we got you on the line, buddy.
No, man, that was only it. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for answering the call, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And Roll Tide.
All right,
Roll Tide.
Take it easy. All right, we're gonna move on, and we got another caller in. It's Anthony from New York. Anthony, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Long time listener, first time caller. How you guys doing today?
All right, thank you so much, man. We appreciate having you. It's your show, man. Take it away.
All right, so I just got a couple questions, but I want to start off with this and just get your guys' opinion on it, to see what you saw, to see if I saw anything else. As far as second half adjustments, as far as it is a lot of passes to the tight ends and running backs, and what I saw is I really didn't see that much of a defense adjustment. A lot of times seeing a linebacker on the running back, understandable, but at the same time recognizing what type of a mismatch that was. I really didn't see anything change from the first half to the second half. I mean, obviously production slowed down. Alabama got on top of them a little bit more. But I just want to hear your guys' opinions on whether you agree or disagree or seen something different.
I think if I'm an offensive coordinator and I'm looking at Alabama's defense, I'm certainly going to the running backs in the flats. No question about it. I'm hitting Alabama on wheel routes because I know they were exposed against Missouri. And I think overall, this team certainly has areas where you can take advantage of them. And I think little dump outs to the running backs will be effective. The defensive secondary, I thought, made some good plays today. That Patrick Surtain was right where he needed to be, especially for the freshman Malachi Moore. I thought he did an exceptional job. Kellen Mond didn't put the ball in the tightest windows. And when Alabama faces a more efficient quarterback, they might have some trouble or they might be more tested. But I think Josh Jobe, Malachi Moore, Patrick Surtain had done a good job. I still worry about, like I said in the opening, kind of the flats. What about you, Mick, in terms of kind of those little dump offs? Do you see Alabama being vulnerable when quarterbacks are able to distribute the football kind of to those different areas with dump offs and kind of just little hits to the running backs?
Look, Kyle, I feel like that's what they want. I mean, I think they're trying to lure the offenses to throw the ball on those little short plays because they know they can tackle them, short of the first down. I mean, you're not going to be able to cover the entire field, so it's like you're giving them that. Like, hey, look, you can have the 2-yard pass because Alabama's a really good open field tackling team. Now I know they missed the tackle in the first half, but was the whistle blown on that play anyway? I mean, did they think that was a dead play? I mean, that was kind of the since we're watching on TV, that seemed like maybe that play was dead anyhow. Besides that, though, I thought that they did a really nice job of containing those short passes. You don't want to give up the big plays. You want to kind of keep the game in front of you, and I thought they did a good job of that. Like, I really felt like this was a good Texas A&M team. And I know you and I both picked Alabama to cover, and they did, but I didn't expect Texas A&M to be able to move the ball down the field like they did against Alabama today. They picked up a lot of yards, but they didn't score that many points. And, I mean, honestly, Alabama was ahead for most of this game. And I thought they did an excellent job. I really felt like this was the type of defensive game plan that Alabama calls, particularly when you have a good lead. And they led a couple scores most of this game. They're trying to keep those plays in front of them. That's all academic for a team that's ahead by a couple of touchdowns.
All right. We will take our next caller, and we appreciate Anthony. Thank you very much for calling in. We'll catch up with our next caller, and we got Tim calling in from Florida. Tim, what's up, buddy? Thanks for hanging around. Welcome to Bama Insider and the Call-In Show. Got Mick Gillespie, welcome him. And then, of course, I'm Kyle Henderson. So thank you very much for calling in. Your show, man. Talk about it. I know you want to talk about Mac Jones and those Heisman odds.
Yeah, so Mac Jones, his Heisman odds, it has to be good right now. I know Kyle Trask is killing right now for Florida, but, whenever we get to Georgia, against that defense, if he lights them on fire, Mac Jones definitely has to win Heisman at that point, or at least contend for it.
I think when you look at Heisman, it was all the campaign with Najee Harris, right? And rightfully so. Guy has 5 touchdowns in 2 games. Then you got Jalen Waddle, and look at the production that he's put up in 2 games. Then you got Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones, if you have those 3 Alabama players side by side, I think I might be taking Mac Jones, right? It is a quarterback award. It's very difficult for a running back to win this award, even more difficult for a receiver to win it. What do you think, Mick, as we kind of look at what production Mac Jones has done, especially at the flex today? If you're a Heisman odds maker out there, you got to be boosting them up for Mac Jones.
Yeah, I need to go down to Pearl River and that Timeout Sportsbook and throw some money on these. I never would have thought that Mac Jones through 2 games would have played like this. I've been just floored with his ability to throw the deep ball. Like I would figure, most Alabama quarterbacks, you're talking about, and we're on the, Bama Insider, the rival site. You guys know, these are top blue chip quarterbacks, but I never had him in the same category as a Tua or a Bryce Young or, A.J. McCarron, and maybe I was wrong by that, and I know that I have a friend that played at Kentucky, and he's like, he was going to come to Kentucky, and he went to Alabama, and he's great. He is great. His ability to just sit in the pocket and throw the ball and those deep passes with the accuracy, the touch that he puts on those balls, his leadership, this guy stepped up into this role, and he's just run with it, what are his Heisman odds? He's still got to play Georgia and LSU and Auburn. There's some really big games ahead, and who knows, is Mississippi State going to be one of those games or Ole Miss? There's going to be a game or 2 where he's going to have to drive the team down the field to win the game on the last drive or the second to last drive of the game, But I have confidence, man. I think this guy's going to be able to do it. And that's not where I was 2 weeks ago, So I'm impressed by him. He's got a ton of weapons, but you still have to take advantage of those weapons. You still have to get him the ball. The deep passes to me, and the lead on those balls and the touch on those passes, that's elite stuff. And we learned something last year from Joe Burrow. Forget about everything that happened the year before or 2 years before or 3 years before. It's all about this season right here. He was 20 of 27, 435 yards, as you can see, 2 touchdowns. He had the interception on the tip ball. And he was in control of this game. Even after that interception, he still was ready to lead the offense back out on the field. This guy's got charisma. I put him in the conversation right now. And the good thing for Mac in Alabama is that they have the games on the schedule with this, all SEC 10-game slate, that if he wants to win that award, it's out there for him. No doubt about it. This is like an NFL type schedule, Kyle. When you talk about every single week, it's another big game.
Tim, anything else while we got you on the line, buddy?
Other than that, I think in terms of the defensive line, I definitely do think that they need to switch it up. I think Barmore should start, or at least if not start the rest of the year, at least try something. I think we play Tennessee next. Just because when we look at it, the starting defensive line, it's not much going on. When they create pressure on first and second down, it literally just looks like we depend on Will Anderson just to get pressured.
Yeah.
You think about the 2015 team. We had A'Shawn Robinson, Jonathan Allen, Jaron Reed. It was like a mixture of run stoppers and pass rush. So, I feel like they should got to switch it up.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tim. We appreciate you calling in. We're actually going to we're going to move on to our next caller, but please call again, Tim. Thank you very much for the feedback. You bring us some great points about the pass rush. Definitely hit on some great points tonight.
All right.
All right. We are going to, hey, Mick, we are going to bring in Tony. So we're going to sub you out.
Yeah.
We are going to sub Tony in. And let's see if we can get Tony Tsoukalas, who's at Bryant Denny. Let's see if we can bring him in. Tony, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. Thank you for joining us, Bryant Denny Stadium. First of all, observations kind of from like the tailgate scene. And I mean, was it kind of strange seeing almost like a small A-day atmosphere for a big-time game like this one?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's a top 15 game, and it's kind of weird that I could just drive to the game without any problems. Most of the time, there's a lot of traffic at a game like this. And then, I didn't get to see much of the outside environment because I get to the game so early. But inside, Alabama did a good job of spacing people out, so it maybe didn't look as empty as it was. But it's still, it's still pretty empty compared to what this would be like if it was number 2 Alabama versus number 13 A&M on a normal year, right?
We have a couple callers on the line, so I won't keep you for a long time, but I quickly want to get kind of just your assessment of Mac Jones today. I mean, he had such a fantastic showing. I mean, a lot of people, there was a lot of people that had been doubting him. You weren't one of them. You had been in Mac Jones' corner. We've both talked about kind of what he brings to the table. To see him ball out today, you see the stats on the screen. I mean, from Bryant Denny's perspective, I mean, talk about just his overall play and what he brought to number 13 Texas A&M.
I think Mac's continually proving that he can do it all. I mean, this is the 4th highest single game passing total by Alabama quarterback. That's nothing to shrug at. And he did it against a really good defense in Texas A&M and number 13 team in the nation. This is not a pushover team. He's hitting deep balls. He's finding receivers. I mean, some of the passes he made, they're right on par with the passes that Tua made last year. So I think we're seeing a star quarterback. And it's something that I've been saying that I think Alabama has. And I think we're only going to see him get better. He rebounded from a mistake that, at the time it looked like it was going to derail him. He started 7 of 7, and then he kind of throws an incomplete pass and then throws a pick. And then he comes back and he does it over again, and he's really solid today.
All right. Thank you very much, Tony. We appreciate it. We won't keep you too long. We got a bunch of callers in the call queue, but you got a bunch of stories on the BamaInsider. By the way, we just dropped Saban's presser now on YouTube, so we'll definitely put that to where you guys can find it. But we're going to sub you out, sub Mick back in, but thank you very much for joining us, Tony. We appreciate it.
All right, you guys take care.
All right. That's Tony Tsoukalas, our team writer. We got Mick Gillespie, and now we are on the line with Demetrius from North Carolina. What's up, Demetrius? Thank you very much for waiting.
Hey.
What's going on, buddy? It's your show. Take it.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing this evening?
Doing great, man. Go ahead, take it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a little quick comment about the defense, and I wouldn't mind sending a little bit more pressure, but I'm satisfied compared to what we seen last year, and all I want to say is that people were so hard on defensive coordinator last year, and the coaching this season so far is a prime example of coaching continuity. Coaches staying together, staying here for a little while, and it's starting to pay off. That's all I gotta say.
All right, thank you so much for calling in. What do you think, Mick? Right there. I mean, it's when you look at this game overall, there's so many areas that you can dissect. And I don't know if there's one particular area that I would kind of nitpick at Alabama. I mean, for the most part, I mean, this team really played, how we thought they're going to play.
Look, I think he's right. I mean, like 2 years ago, Alabama wins the national championship if all the coaches, and I don't say all of them, but like 80% of them took other jobs, like you get another job and it's like you're not worried about Alabama, you're worried about Maryland. If you're the new head coach of Maryland, or you're worried about Michigan, if you're the new offensive coordinator or assistant there, you're not worried about what the game plan is against Clemson or whoever else you're playing. I mean, he's exactly right. There's a lot of continuity that goes into having just a cohesive unit of coaches that are all kind of pulling in the same direction. We've seen this with Clemson. They don't lose coaches. And I feel like their success, part of it's been the fact that they've had that continuity in the coaching staff. So, by having coaches, and I mean, this isn't the time of year where I really feel like it matters that much, but you get into those bowl games, You get into that national championship, and every other program's looking at you, and they're going to, try to start poaching your coaches. Those guys get those jobs. I mean, they know that, like, they have to have success. They got to have recruits. They got to have a game plan. They got to go out and recruit other coaches. Are they really, like, studying the film, for that, to try to find that little nugget, as you would say, Kyle, that's going to help them out down the line? The continuity on this coaching staff, the fact that they didn't lose anyone. They lost one guy, and they got Freddie Roach back, who honestly, as a Bama alumnus and a guy who remembered Freddie as a player, it's great to have him on the staff anyway. I like this. I like the fact that we got some young guys that are kind of growing into their jobs, and we're critical, particularly of the defensive staff at times about things, but today was a really good win, and I think we all have to keep that in mind, man. Like, this is a great team. Texas A&M, I mean, they got the potential to win a lot of football games in 2020. And they came to Bryant-Denny today, and you're talking about a stadium that didn't really have many fans there because we're not allowed to have that many fans. It's not like a normal Tuscaloosa home field advantage. And, and Alabama hit them. They hit Alabama back. And then they got a Deontay Wilder, and like, they never got back up. Okay, and I mean, I give Alabama a lot of credit for that. Like, not just the offense for scoring the points, but, I mean, you blinked your eyes at the end of that second quarter, and it went from being like this to being like this. And that's the sign of a very good football team.
All right, good stuff. Next, we're going to take Jay from Tennessee. Thank you very much, Demetrius, for calling in and waiting on the line. Next, we're going to take Jay from Tennessee. And by the way, everyone, just posted the Nick Saban press conference. And we'll take this call, then maybe we'll pipe in Saban's opening press conference. But I just wanted to inform everyone, Nick Saban's press conference now live on our YouTube channel. If you guys could give us a thumbs up, that really means a lot to us right here on the YouTube channel. The super chats, of course, help, but the thumbs up really helps get our brand. We're trying to build up that tailgate show before the game. So, all the support, we appreciate it. Jay from Tennessee, take it away, buddy.
Thanks, Kyle. First of all, Kyle, let me say that you have done an amazing job since you've been with the whole thing, and I've been with it with a lot of years. I'm BamaInsider on the thing. I don't know if you see that, but anyway, you've done an amazing job. You and everybody's done an amazing job, and I just wanted to thank you first of all for all that you do. It's a nonstop thing, obviously, and we appreciate it. Another thing, Jay from Tennessee, I'm really, my kids have never worn orange and everything. It's been a rough thing living in Tennessee, but we won't talk about. We need to talk about football now. The defense, and I know everybody's. I won't use any bad words. Complaining about the defense. The thing that got me, and maybe you guys can help me with this, is it's the middle seems so wide open, and I know I listened to part of Coach Saban's presser, and it was more of a not Golding's fault for sending people in the wrong place. It was just individuals making more mistakes than anything else. Do you agree with that analogy or whatever?
Yeah. Take that, Mick. Go ahead.
Well, first off, Jay, I mean, look, man, I'm telling you right now, Kyle is the encyclopedia. I mean, this guy is. I mean, he knows everything. I mean, like, I'm so just really impressed by teaming up with Kyle. I've been around a long time, and this guy right here, man, he's got it. Like it's just being around him. Whether you guys see him on this or you're behind the scenes, he is a tireless worker for this whole Bama Insider product. So, I mean, I agree with you 100%, man. And I spent a lot of time in Tennessee too. Like I know all about the orange, and it's a different animal down here in Tuscaloosa, man. Like they want to win one game, and it's all about championships with the Crimson Tide. So, exactly. Roll Tide right back at you. But look, I feel like, and I'll say this again, I kind of, just kind of go back into my same point. You're not going to be able to cover every single part of the field all the time. Let's go back to, what was it, 2011, when we had the game of the century, and then we had the national championship game against LSU, and it was like, 9-6, and then it was 21-0, for the title game, and it was all defense. Like, things changed since then. Everybody runs a spread offense. You're talking about a lot of, just constant passing and pressure. They call a lot more penalties now. They want this wide open style. We used to see these type of games, in the Big 12, and everybody in the SEC would be like, man, we don't play this kind of football, like 52 to 24. I mean, what is this, But what's happened is that it's kind of trickled down into the way that all of us across the sport, have to manage the games. I mean, it's just the way that it is. It feels a little bit like flag football at times, but you can't look at the total yards and say, hey, we had a bad game. You got to look at the score, and you got to look at the, kind of the context of what was going on during the course of that 60 minutes. Alabama, I felt like that they were in control of this game. Even when Texas A&M tied it, I was really confident about the way that the team was playing. I liked the way that the defense was playing. Right. I liked the pass rush. I think Kellen Mond's a good quarterback. And he may be a guy, I'm not an NFL expert, but he may be one of those guys that you turn around and you look at and you're like, you know what, this guy ends up being a pretty good NFL quarterback. I mean, under pressure, he throws the ball well, and he was under pressure a lot. I mean, like, I thought Alabama was in the backfield and a bunch during this game. So I was impressed with the defense. I like the young guys, but I also love having the veterans back as well. This defense has a swagger, and then Mac-10 is able to just get the balls out. I'd like to see the running game be a little bit more dominant, but if they're stacking the line of scrimmage and they're challenging you to throw the ball, they throw the football. Because these guys can catch it. But what you got to look at is, and I've been watching Alabama football for a long time, when you can step up in the pocket like Mac did in this game and like he did last game, and you can throw that 30, 40-yard pass with accuracy and hit these guys in stride, and we have the receivers that can catch the ball and turn it into big gains or touchdowns, it's really hard to defend them. And I thought that's what makes me confident in this Alabama team, man. I mean, you push them, they're coming right back at you with a deep ball. And, I mean, you're going to have, just really sticky coverage to keep them from scoring. And Texas A&M is a good team, and they just couldn't do it today.
Hey, Jay, I quickly want to jump on. And first of all, thank you very much for the earlier comments. I think, one thing is the BamaInsider staff, they do a great job. I mean, I think savages want to play with savages, as Nick Saban always says. So it's kind of like that's what I emulate with my staff. I like to make sure that everyone's really tightened up and kind of match that intensity because, there's competition out there. You guys know that this isn't the only place that you can get your Alabama Crimson Tide coverage. But if you really want to get the best coverage, I feel that we want to put our best foot forward. So let's put the best product out there as possible. We got Trey Yanity. He's a 5-star. We got Tyler Waldrop. He's a 5-star. We got Mick Gillespie. We're still waiting to see if he's a 5-star or 4-star.
Like a 3-star. But
he's like
I play hard.
24 right now, but that's okay. No, I'm just playing.
OG, man. I'm just an OG.
And then, of course, we got Bone.
Real quick.
Bone's a 5-star, though.
Bone's amazing.
Bone's a 5-star. I'd say everybody else is a 4-star, and Bone's a 5-star.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, real quick. I'm a very, very old person. I used to work at a TV station in Atlanta, Georgia, CBS affiliate.
Yeah.
I used to interview the bear. I drove over at Legion Field back then and interviewed the bear after games. So this is
wow.
I'm going back a long way, but so I've been through obviously the high times and some of those low times.
Sure.
But I just appreciate and Mac Jones is doing amazing. But I just wanted to just tell you guys once again, thanks for what you do, and it's a great release for me, and it keeps me out of my wife's hair, which is just an amazing thing. And one last thing, with Reichard kicking, I don't have to have a Xanax and a Creflo when the kick goes up, which is amazing.
You don't have to wear your lucky underwear.
No, but you don't know how many times I change clothes.
I'm like this right here. Like, I can't watch this.
Hey, well, Jay, thank you very much for calling. We really appreciate it. And thank you very much for the comments. We'll catch you back at BamaInsider.
You take care. Thanks a lot.
All right. Take it easy, buddy.
And roll tide.
All right. Roll tide. Okay. All right. We got, I think we have some sound. We got Nick Saban's opening press conference. We're going to play that. And then I know everyone wants to go watch that Auburn, Georgia game, including myself.
Uh-oh.
let's play Nick Saban's opening. Of course, you can watch the full thing on Bama Insider. We're gonna do a tightrope walk right here. We're gonna have Trey. I'm gonna say Trey Sanders. Trey Yanity is gonna pipe in Saban. Here we go. Let's see if we can execute. Press go.
Okay, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll start now with Coach. We'll go ahead and let him open with a comment, and then we'll get to questions. Raise your hand if you got them.
I'm very pleased with the effort that our players played with today, the toughness. We had a lot of respect for Texas A&M's team. They were a ranked team, so we knew it would be a difficult game, but our guys persevered, overcame some adversity, especially when we got ahead 14-0, and they tied it up 14-14, where we give up a big play for a touchdown and then a turnover, and they get another touchdown, very quickly in the game. But our guys stayed the course and kept competing in the game. So, and that's really what we wanted to do is, try to, keep playing in the game and try to play for 60 minutes. And I thought we did that. Now, there's a lot of things that we need to clean up. We made some mental errors on defense that led to big plays, whether they were alignments, not adjusting the motion correctly. But we got a couple turnovers. We had a pick six for a touchdown, made some big plays, got some fourth down stops when we needed to stop drives. I know time of possession was a little lopsided because we didn't get off the field on third down well enough, allowed them to keep the ball. And, we made a lot of big plays on offense, so we didn't have the ball very long. But the way they played us, we have to utilize the skill guys that we have and take shots. And they were up there stopping the run. Their safeties were very aggressive. So I thought we did a good job of adjusting to that in the game and making some big plays. And obviously, the receivers, John Mechie and Jalen Waddle and Smitty all played, really, really well. And I thought Mac played really well in the game and, kept his poise and, didn't get affected by the tip ball interception and just did a really good job. So all in all, this was a great win for us. We had a lot of respect for this team, so I'm kind of proud of our players for what they did. I think in 24 hours, though, I think we need to go to work on what we need to improve on because there's a lot of things to clean up.
All right, that was Nick Saban, and those are his comments. And of course, you can watch the full press conference back at BamaInsider.com. Please hit the thumbs up button. I mean, as Nathan said right now, we have a ton of people on, and we got to get those thumbs up. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We hope you guys had a great time. Mick, we're going into week 3. I think week 2 was pretty good for us as well. So we look forward to more from you as we go forward. Please check out the Bama Tailgate Show, which is every Friday before each game. You can also listen to it on Jocks before the game on Saturday. So a lot of ways to connect with BamaInsider.com. And of course, follow all our social media platforms. But thank you very much for sticking with us here. Give us a thumbs up and we'll definitely catch up with you next time. Mick, you have a good time tonight?
Yeah. Look, I was impressed by this game. I was watching Mac mostly, because I know that he's got the playmakers around him, but I'm really confident in this team. I feel it's a special unit. I've watched a lot of them over the years. I think they've bought into the process. They're motivated because they didn't have the success that they wanted last year, the Alabama success, the level that has kind of been established at the university. This is going to be a fun team to watch. I'm not saying they're going to win every game, but to beat these guys, you're going to have to really, really have an excellent game. And you got to have in college football right now a quarterback that can lead and throw the ball. And and I've always felt like, at least in the last 4 or 5 years, you got to have a guy that can run the ball as well as at the QB spot. But I don't know, man. This is an offense to me that gets on you fast. And I'm telling you, this guy gets the ball to the people that need to have it in their hands, and they make the plays. This was a really, really nice win.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Medic Man. We appreciate it. Definitely hit the thumbs up. We appreciate all the super chats from you, Medic Man. Sincerely appreciate it. All the support right here on BamaInsider.com. Enjoy the Auburn and Georgia game. I know the Bama Insider staff, we're trying to hustle on our content to get it out so we can go enjoy our Saturday night along with everybody else. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is the Bama Insider post-game reaction and call-in show Kyle Henderson, Mick Gillespie. We got Trey Yanity and Tyler Waldrop on the back end. So those guys did a great job. Catch up with you guys soon. Tons of coverage coming your way on Bama Insider. Don't forget to go watch that Nick Saban press conference right now. We'll catch up with you soon. Enjoy your Auburn, Georgia game. Take care, my friends, and catch up with you soon.